I was sitting in my room, scrolling through my cousin Evelyn's text when I saw it. "WTF is this?" she messaged, followed by a screenshot of a Facebook post. There was Wesley, my younger brother, smiling in his cap and gown. My mom had written this huge post. "So proud of my perfect son Wesley for graduating with honors. I couldn't be happier. My heart is full." The post was public. She wanted everyone to see it. Not one picture of me. Not a word about my graduation last month. Not even a simple, "Congrats to both my boys." Nothing. I stared at the screen for a moment and just let out a dry laugh. It wasn't new. This has been my life for as long as I can remember. Wesley, the golden child. Loud, dramatic, always putting on a show. And mom eats it up like it's gospel. Me, I've always been the quiet one. Keep my head down, study, save money, try not to cause problems. That's how I've survived. But it still stung. 3 days after that post, she called. "No hello, no how are you? We're throwing a party for Wesley," she said flatly. "You're paying for the catering. $2,000. I need it now." I blinked. Why would I pay for that? "Because," she snapped, "you owe us for existing." I laughed. I actually laughed. "Be glad I even stayed this long," I said, then hung up. That night, something broke in me. I had always promised myself I wouldn't walk away without a goodbye. But I did. Packed a bag, turned off my phone, and left. 2 days later, the calls started. 24 missed calls from mom. 17 from Wesley. Voicemail from dad. Text from Evelyn. Dozens more from unknown numbers. I finally listened to one of mom's messages. Her voice was shaky, like she'd been crying for hours. "Please," she begged. "He refuses to go on stage without you. He keeps asking where you are. I can't breathe. Just come back. We'll do anything. Now they care. Now that I'm gone. I'm not looking for sympathy. I just needed to get this off my chest." If you've ever had parents who only remember you when they want something, maybe this will make sense to you. Maybe not. But I've learned something. You don't owe anyone for existing. Especially not the people who made you feel invisible. It's weird how someone can treat you like garbage and still expect you to pay for the party. I thought after that blow up in the kitchen, she'd cool down, maybe even realize how messed up it was. But nope. The next day, I'm at work, trying to focus, and my phone buzzes. It's her. I almost let it ring out, but something told me to pick up. "Hello." Her voice is sharp and cold. "We need the money today. The caterer's waiting." I laugh, mostly out of shock. "You're seriously calling me at work about this?" "I don't care if you're at work," she snaps. "You're giving me the money. I already told them you'd cover it." "What? Why would you tell them that?" "Because you live under this roof. You owe us. We gave you everything." I close my eyes. My hands are shaking. I keep my voice low so no one at work hears. "I pay rent. I pay for my own stuff. I never asked for anything from you. Ever." She pauses. "So you're really going to embarrass your brother? On his big day? You mean the brother who couldn't even text me congrats when I graduated?" Silence. Then she hangs up. No goodbye. No argument. Just ends the call like I'm the problem. I go back to my desk, but I can't concentrate. My mind's spinning. It's like, I keep trying to be decent, hoping maybe someday they'll see me not the screw-up they think I am but me. But they don't. They only see what I'm useful for. A wallet, a driver, a backup plan, and I'm done. That night, I pack more stuff. Not just the usual escape bag. I pack for real this time. Evelyn texts me again. "Heard your mom's blaming you for ruining the party. Want me to say something?" I text her back. "Nah, let them talk. I'm out." And I meant it. Next morning, I left a short note on the kitchen table. "Thanks for everything. I'm gone. Don't call." Then I walked out the door. For the first time, I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. I didn't think she'd actually do it, but of course she did. The morning after everything blew up, I tried to play it cool. Headphones in, minding my business, just making a bagel like everything was normal. I thought maybe she'd stay in her room and sulk like usual. Nope. She walked into the kitchen with her phone already glued to her ear, talking loud enough for the neighbors to hear. "Some people just have no sense of gratitude," she said, pacing behind me. You raise them, you feed them, and they can't even help their own brother on his big day. She kept glancing at me, like she wanted me to snap back. But I didn't. I just toasted my bagel in silence, chewing slowly, staring at the fridge like it could teleport me somewhere else. Then I went to shower, hoping she'd be gone when I came out. But when I checked my phone, I froze. 10 missed calls, all from some random number. Then the text started coming in. "Hi, this is Amanda from Tasty Delight Catering. Just confirming the graduation event under your name. We need the $500 deposit today. Thanks." She actually gave them my number. I sighed, took a screenshot, and texted it to her. "You told them it was my order. Fix it yourself. I'm not paying for anything." 2 seconds later, she barged into my room. "You think you're so mature," she snapped. "So independent. Then why are you still here, huh? You like mooching off us, don't you?" I didn't even look up from my phone. I pay rent. I buy my food. I clean up after myself. That's more than Wesley ever did. Wrong answer. She slammed her hand against my desk. "Don't you dare talk about your brother like that. He doesn't bring this kind of shame to the family." I laughed. I didn't want to, but I did. Right. Because not paying for his party is shameful, but screaming at your own kid in their room is perfectly normal. She stormed out again, muttering under her breath about how I was ungrateful, selfish, and probably cursed. By the time I got to the garage later that day just to breathe for a minute, my phone buzzed again. It was Evelyn. "Hey, just so you know, your mom's saying you ruined the party and broke her heart. She's already posted about it on Facebook." I texted back, "Let her. She's been performing for strangers my whole life." And I meant that. Later, Wesley walked past me in the hallway. No words, just that classic look. Like I had ruined his big moment. Like he wasn't perfectly fine letting me be the scapegoat, again. This time, though, I wasn't going to let it slide. I wasn't paying. I wasn't apologizing. And I wasn't going to that party. Let them explain to all their guests why there's no food. Let Mom figure out how to clean up the mess she created. Because I'm done. Next part. Things started spiraling fast. Let's just say, her perfect day didn't exactly go as planned. She left me on read. I think she figured I'd give in. That I'd panic, feel guilty, and send the money just to shut everything down. But I didn't. About an hour later, Dad came home. I could hear him stomping around the house, slamming drawers like someone had just stolen his tools. Typical. He barely says 2 words to me unless he needs something fixed or lifted, but this time, he actually called me into the living room. He didn't sit. Just stood there, arms crossed, like he was the head of some courtroom. "You're disrespecting this family," he said. "You need to step up. Be a man. Handle your responsibilities." I leaned on the doorframe, arms crossed too. "By that, you mean pay for Wesley's party?" He didn't even blink. "If you're not going to help, maybe you shouldn't be living here anymore. Maybe it's time you figured things out on your own." I just stared at him. Because we both knew he wasn't the one making this call. He was just echoing Mom. Playing the voice of reason because she couldn't keep her cool. He waited for me to speak. I didn't. After a moment, he muttered, "You're pushing your luck," then stormed out. I heard the garage door creak open and something crash, probably his phone, or the old rake he never fixed. It didn't matter. Then Mom reappeared. No knock. No warning. Just her voice sharp and ready like she'd been building it up all day. "You're ruining this entire weekend," she said. "Wesley's worked so hard, and now the whole neighborhood is going to think we're trash. All I asked for was a little help. That's all. A little help." I raised my eyebrow. "You demanded $2,000. She didn't like that. She stepped closer, pointing a finger in my face. "Don't twist this. You think this is about money. This is about family. About showing up. About being proud of your brother." "I am showing up," I said. "I'm showing up to tell you I'm not a doormat anymore." She got even closer, tried to shove me again like before, but I stepped to the side and she bumped into the edge of the dining table. Her eyes flashed like I'd slapped her. "You're not welcome at the party," she snapped. "Don't even bother showing up." Wasn't planning on it. I walked past her and headed straight to my room. I didn't slam the door. I just closed it quietly and sat down on my bed, completely drained. Then my phone buzzed again. First, it was my aunt. "Hey, sweetie. Your mom is really upset. What's going on?" Then my cousin Evelyn. "Dude. Why is your mom telling everyone you refused to support the family? Also, why is she screaming on Facebook Live?" Even some old family friend I hadn't spoken to in 10 years messaged me, "Hope you're okay. Your mom's post is intense." I didn't respond to most of them. But to the ones I trusted, I just sent screenshots, the messages from the caterer, the deposit demands, and her texts about owing them for existing. No explanations, no pity party, just the truth. Some of them believed me. Some didn't. Evelyn just replied, "LMAO. Classic Janice." That actually made me laugh. But as I sat there, staring at my screen, I started to wonder, why do I let this keep happening? Why do I stay quiet, take the hits, let them spin the story? If I say nothing, I'm invisible. If I speak up, I'm the problem. Fine, I'll be the problem. I started thinking about all the ways this perfect party could fall apart. And not just because I didn't pay. She wanted a show. Maybe it's time I gave her one. The house was too quiet when I woke up, which usually meant something loud was coming. And sure enough, there it was, Mom's voice, sharp and fake sweet, echoing through the hallway. "I don't know what we did wrong, Rocco," she said loudly on the phone, pretending like I wasn't 5 feet away. "He's just selfish. After all we've done, I don't even recognize him anymore." I rolled my eyes from the couch, biting into a cold bagel like I didn't hear her. But she wanted me to. She always did. The volume was for show, her way of trying to guilt-trip me without looking me in the eye. And then I noticed Wesley. He was up early. That never happened. This guy could sleep through an earthquake. But there he was, standing at the top of the stairs like he was trying to decide if it was safe to come down. He didn't say anything, just gave me this weird look, like I was a ticking bomb. Like I was the one who brought chaos into this house. "You're up," I said, casual. "Couldn't sleep," he muttered, scratching the back of his neck. I knew he'd heard everything too. And honestly, I expected him to jump in on her side, like always. But instead, he just walked to the kitchen, grabbed cereal, and sat across the room from me without a word. It was awkward, heavy, like we were all pretending things were normal while everything was falling apart in slow motion. Then Mom came in, still holding her phone but not talking anymore. Just glaring. "You think this is funny?" she snapped. I looked up, calm. "What exactly? You making calls to cancel everything? Embarrassing me. You think that's a joke?" I stood up slowly. "No, I think it's called boundaries. You use my name, you get my rules." She stepped closer, her voice rising again. "I raised you, fed you, clothed you, and this is the thanks I get. You raised me to be your backup wallet," I said flatly. "And I'm done." That hit. Her face twitched, like she didn't expect me to actually say it out loud. "You know what? You're not coming to the party. Not a single person wants you there anyway." "Great," I said, walking past her. "Enjoy the silence." Later that day, the family group chat exploded again. Someone screenshotted her Facebook post, some long dramatic essay about betrayal, with a Bible verse and a blurry picture of a cake sample, and sent it to everyone. A few people messaged me privately asking if I was okay. Others told me to just give in and keep the peace. But I didn't reply. I wasn't trying to win votes. I just wanted peace. Real peace. Not fake smile and pose for photos peace. That night, Dad came home late. He didn't even greet me, just walked past with a shake of his head. But I caught him looking at the empty table, where the catering was supposed to be delivered, and I saw that flicker of doubt. That fear that maybe, for once, their plan wouldn't work. And it wouldn't. Not this time. They could guilt, scream, threaten, post all they wanted. I wasn't moving. Not until someone finally saw her for who she really was. And trust me, they would. Because the party, it was coming, and so was the crash. I was pouring cereal when she burst into the kitchen like a storm cloud, phone clutched in her hand and fire in her eyes. "They're saying they'll cancel," she shouted. "The caterer needs a deposit today, and I don't have time to deal with this, because of you." I didn't even look up. Then maybe don't plan a whole party on someone else's dime. Her voice cracked. You ruined everything. Everything I've built. Everyone is going to know this was your fault. I calmly took a spoonful of cereal, let the crunch fill the silence. Good. Maybe they'll finally stop believing your stories. She stared at me, like she couldn't believe I was still standing there, like I didn't just crumble the second she raised her voice. But I wasn't that kid anymore. I was done playing the role of the obedient son who kept the peace. She stormed off again. Third door slam of the day. Wesley came downstairs a few minutes later, phone in hand, avoiding my eyes like I was radioactive. You good? I asked, casually. He nodded, hesitating near the fridge. Yeah, just, Mom's really freaking out. I tilted my head. That bother you, or are you just worried the cake won't show? He didn't answer, just got a soda and left the room. And I swear, for a second, I saw it in his face he knew I wasn't wrong. But he'd never say it. That's the thing with people like Mom. They make the chaos so loud, no one wants to get in the middle of it. It's easier to just go along, stay quiet, let the problem child take the heat. But not me, not this time. Later that night, Evelyn, my aunt, called me directly. She didn't yell, didn't text, just called. I've been thinking, she said. I saw the screenshots. I know what this is. I waited. I know your mom, okay. I know how she gets. But maybe you could, just this once, help out so we can get through the weekend. Then we'll deal with the rest later. I sighed. Evelyn, I'm not going to be her scapegoat anymore. I'm not trying to ruin the party. I'm trying to not lose myself in the middle of it. She was quiet for a beat. I hear you, she said. Just, hang in there, alright. After the call, I sat in the dark for a while. It wasn't even about the money anymore. It was about the principle. About not folding, not giving in just because she was yelling louder than everyone else. I thought about leaving, about actually packing up and going somewhere else. But then I realized, that's what they wanted. For me to disappear so they could rewrite the story. But I wasn't going to disappear. I was going to stay. And I was going to make sure they saw me. That night, the silence in the house was heavier than usual, thick, like a blanket you couldn't shake off. I sat at the kitchen table, poking at cold takeout, barely hungry but too stubborn to go to my room. The dishwasher blinked like it was waiting for someone to care. No one did. Mom didn't speak. She walked past me like I wasn't there, arms crossed, lips tight. Dad stayed glued to the couch, the TV screen flashing sports highlights he wasn't even watching. Wesley didn't come down at all. It was like the whole house was trying to freeze me out. But I wasn't cold. I was done. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Evelyn. Evelyn, hey, your mom said you stole from the house. Is that true? I stared at the screen, thumb hovering. Me? No, she's lying because I won't pay for the party. Evelyn, Jesus. She said you threatened her. Me? Nope. She's the one throwing slaps. I just grabbed my phone. There was a pause. Then 3 dots. Then nothing. I figured she didn't know what to say anymore. Couldn't blame her. Mom walked in again a little while later, trying one more time. Her voice was quieter now, softer. Like maybe if she played the victim sweetly enough, I'd fold. I just wanted one perfect day, she whispered. Just one. For Wesley. I didn't even look up. Then maybe you shouldn't have tried to build it with someone else's wallet. She stood there for a second, like she wanted to say more. But then she just turned and left. Again. Later, Wesley finally came downstairs. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept. He didn't say anything right away. Just stood in the doorway of the kitchen, rubbing his face. I didn't ask for any of this, he mumbled. I looked at him. Yeah, well, maybe it's time you say that to Mom, not me. He nodded slowly, but I could tell it didn't stick. He still wanted the party. Still wanted to be the golden boy. When I went back to my room, I saw more Facebook updates. Mom had changed her status to, sometimes the worst pain comes from the ones you love. Evelyn had commented something vague. A few of Mom's church friends dropped praying hands. I rolled my eyes. I took a deep breath, grabbed my bag again, and this time, I actually left. Went to crash at Jeremy's place. He didn't ask questions, just tossed me a blanket and turned on the Xbox. I texted one last thing to Wesley, you wanted a perfect day. Then make it perfect yourself. I turned off my phone and slept harder than I had in weeks. I sat up on Rocco's couch, blanket tangled around my legs, the morning sun cutting through the dusty blinds. My phone screen was glowing like it was about to melt. 42 missed calls, 16 voicemails, and the family group chat. Blown to pieces. Messages stacked on top of messages, everyone shouting in text like that would fix something. I didn't even feel nervous. Just curious. I tapped into the group chat. The first thing I saw was from Aunt Melissa. What is going on? Why did Wesley cancel his speech? Then came a flood of other voices. Where is he? Why isn't she here? Someone said she stole money. No, she left. She walked out. I saw the post. And then, finally, Evelyn, my cousin who always tried to play peacekeeper, she messaged me directly. Evelyn. Hey, just checking in. Are you okay? I stared at her message for a moment, thinking about everything that led up to this. My family had tried to guilt me into silence for years, but this time, I didn't cave. I didn't play the good child. I finally did what they never expected. I walked away. Rocco came out of the kitchen holding 2 mugs of coffee. Your phone been crying all morning, he said, handing one to me. I took it with a small smile. Yeah, it's basically a hostage now. You okay? I nodded. I think I am. For the first time, I actually am. He dropped into the armchair. Want to talk about it? I shook my head. Not yet. But thanks for letting me crash. He waved it off. Stay as long as you want. Nobody here's gonna ask you for a check or slap your hand. We both laughed, and for a second, the weight I'd been carrying started to lift. Later that afternoon, I finally opened the voicemails. Most were from Mom, each one more frantic than the last. Crying, pleading, threatening, then crying again. One from Wesley, awkward and half-hearted. Look, I get it, okay. You were mad, but just come to the party. Please. Too little, too late. Then there was one from Dad, calmer, but colder. You made your choice. Just remember that. I played it twice, just to feel how empty it sounded. Around sunset, I posted one photo to my story. Nothing dramatic. Just a shot of my shoes on Rocco's balcony, coffee cup in hand, and the caption. Peace approval. The reaction was instant. A few friends messaged me support. Evelyn replied with a heart. But mostly, silence from the people who used to control my life. And I liked it that way. That night, I sat on Rocco's balcony with my feet kicked up, scrolling through the last wave of panic texts. The one that actually made me laugh. Aunt Melissa again. Your mom's in tears. She says she can't breathe. Please just come home. Then came Wesley's message. I can't do this without you. Please, just come to the party. I'm not going on stage alone. And finally, Dad, just come back. We'll do anything. Just fix this. Please. Now they wanted to negotiate. After all the guilt trips, the threats, the silence. Nah, I was done being their safety net. Evelyn, my cousin, the only one who's ever been real with me, sent the full report later that night. The party was a disaster, she said. The catering, cancelled. Mom never paid, and the restaurant said they weren't going to show up without a deposit. Decorations, half didn't arrive because the orders were under my name, and I had already pulled out. The guests that did show, most left early once they realized there was no food and no music. Mom, according to Evelyn, spent the whole time in the bathroom crying about how she couldn't breathe, and Dad walked around red in the face pretending like everything was fine. Wesley, he straight up refused to go on stage for his honors speech. He said he wouldn't do it without his brother, Evelyn wrote. I had to pause at that. I didn't expect that from him. I mean, it didn't change anything, but it hit different. I guess he really thought I'd show up in the end. I didn't. And the group chat. Total meltdown. Text after text after text. Mom, you humiliated us. You ruined Wesley's big day. Dad, you destroyed everything we built. Wesley, I'll pay half. Just please come, please. They even tried to guilt me with, do it for Grandma. But Grandma, bless her heart, actually texted me privately. You did what you had to do, sweetheart. Sometimes enough is enough. So yeah, even she wasn't buying the drama. Neighbors started asking questions. Mom tried to spin it, blamed the catering company, said it was all a mistake. But enough people had seen the screenshots from our group chat that nobody believed her. And the beautiful part, I didn't have to defend myself. I didn't have to fight. I didn't have to yell. All I had to do was step back and let the truth sit in the middle of the room where everyone could see it. By Sunday night, I got one final message from Mom. "You've made your point." I just replied, "Yeah, I did. That was it." Now I'm still at Rocco's place, scrolling apartment listings, trying to figure out what's next. Life's quieter, cleaner, no yelling through doors, no silent treatments, no guilt over money that wasn't mine to begin with. I don't regret a thing. And if you're reading this and going through something similar, let me just say, you're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to demand peace, even if it comes with distance. Family isn't just about blood. It's about respect. And if they can't give you that, it's okay to choose yourself. Thanks for sticking with me through this whole story. For real. If this hit home or helped you feel seen, like, share, and subscribe. You never know who else might need to hear it. Stay strong, stay honest, and stay free.